everyone, and welcome to Thelma's podcast. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to restart again. So basically, my guest is called Shaun Pascal. So he's a vocal advocate for social justice, for also mental health, and focusing on women's rights. He has also founded the Black Wall Street Media. And if that's not even enough, he works for the community employed by the Metropolitan Police. Okay? So I want to say a big welcome to you guys. Okay? The way me and Shaun started to talk is because there was an incident with police brutality. And I explained how me and my pupils were speaking about that and how it affected them, because this is something that keeps on happening. So shout out to Ricardo dos Santos, because he has managed to get justice because of what happened to him with the police. And I also want to say to everyone out there that has faced police brutality, I do hope you get the justice you deserve. All right. So I'm waiting patiently for my guests. Okay. It says ready. Okay. So I'm waiting patiently for my guests. I'm very sorry I had to leave the other live. Okay. So Black Wall Street. Right. All right. I can't wait to have this special guest. I mean, all my guests for me are special. So I can't wait to have this person. All right. So Shaun, please join me live. Okay, please join me. So yeah, please be patient, because some people, I have got the hang of, oh yes, I got the hang of this, but some people don't. Hi Shaun, can you please request to join me? Wait, Black Wall Street invite. Okay, yeah, you request. You know, there's a plus, a camera plus, and then I'll invite you in. I've invited you, but you see there's a camera at the bottom with the plus. If you press on it, request to join. Yeah, does that make sense? Invite. I'm inviting you now. Let's see. I've invited you, but there's a camera with a plus. You can request to join me. All right, I'm inviting you again. If that works. Yes, yes. Yes, you know what to do. Wait, I'm coming. I'm gonna allow you to come in, and it should work, hopefully. Okay, one more time. Come on. Come on, Instagram. Make it work. Come on. Does that work? Goodness me, Instagram. What are you doing? I'm gonna complain to them. This is not acceptable. How many times do somebody has to accept the invite? Oh, I'm sorry about this, Shaun. It should work now. Okay, I put accept. Yeah, view request. Okay, let's see if that works now. I have accepted you. I don't know what's happening. Finally. Hello,
Hi,
Shaun.
how are you?
I'm fine. And you okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
Lovely. How are you, Shaun?
Yeah, good. Very, very good.
Welcome to Thelma's podcast. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, so basically, you are, let me remember this. You are vocal act. No, wait, let me start again. You are an advocate, a vocal advocate for social justice, for mental health, and
Yeah.
focusing on women's rights.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, it's my job, really.
Yes, and you work for the community. That means you are employed by the Metropolitan Police.
Yes.
And on top of all your greatness, you have launched, Black Wall Street Media. I don't really know where to start about all of this, but let's start with your activism. How did you start? Can you hear me? Invite. What's going on? Sorry about this. So sorry, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. So let's start with your activism work. Why did you start all of this? When?
Which part?
So let's start with, the mental health, which I think, and social justice. How did you start this?
I it kind of came about because when people spoke about mental health, it really didn't mean much to me until I experienced it myself, and I went through, the whole rigmarole of it, and then coming out the other side, I had a great understanding and appreciation for how challenging it is, and um, yeah, and I just wanted to help people. So, and just share my experience. By sharing my experience, I didn't realize at first I was helping people, and then it kind of expanded from there. Really, I was fortunate enough to have good people around me. Um, I had a Harvard professor who's one of the leading professors in neuroscience take me under her wing. She lives in uh, Boston in America. She took me under her wing and counseled me free of charge for a while.
Shout
And
out.
yeah, her name's Margaret Moore, uh, and and then because of that, she ended up doing work with the Metropolitan Police as well, and doing some really good work with them as well. So and then I do bits and pieces with an organisation called the Ollie Foundation, which was set up by a group of parents in St Albans that lost their kids through suicide. So they've been hugely supportive as well, and I try and get involved in any way I can to support their great work. And yeah, it's just, and then you just meet so many people that have been through these experiences, black, white, or indifferent, and you realize that it affects everyone's affected by mental health to some degree, and and I feel that it's really important that especially for young people, that we identify the trauma young people are going through,
Yeah.
and we help them so it doesn't carry them through to adulthood, where I think things are going wrong in society is because there's a lot of traumatized adults out there that have never had help, or they don't even know that they've been traumatized. They're just kind of just trying to get on with life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sometimes, I don't want to say this because, in a personal level, that happened to me. When I was living in Switzerland, a long time ago, I faced racism all my 15 years there. And there was one point I just wanted to end it. There was a point I hated the way I looked. I hate everything about my origin. I wanted to be white. But it's hard to turn to somebody to help. Sometimes you feel embarrassing. Oh, I want to kill myself. It's hard. I find it really hard. And I didn't open up to my family. I find it hard to open up to them. On top of feeling racism every day of my life in Switzerland, I was a black sheep because I was getting in trouble all the time. So people think like, oh, it's a prank. So it's kind of hard. So can I ask you, if somebody were to feel this way, what can they do?
um you've you know you've got family.
Mm-hmm,
um Hopefully they will be supportive. If you don't feel you can speak to family, you've got your
mm-hmm.
GP, and there are helplines out there. And I know, it feels a bit strange to perhaps reach out to a stranger or pick up a phone and dial this number, but they are really helpful.
Yeah,
They
Samaritans.
do. Yes, so yeah, like Samaritan. And the type of people that are on the end of the phone have been through stuff themselves. So they get it. They really do get it. So it's important to realize you're not on your own, and you don't have to suffer on your own.
Yes.
And that, you know, we're all going through some level of trauma, and yeah, we do have days where we might feel at our lowest, but you know, it's just recognizing that, you know, uh, uh, these things, often these things happen to us to make us more resilient,
Yeah.
or to teach us things in life.
Yeah.
But if you embrace these challenges, they can actually make you stronger, better
That's
people. And then
that's happened to me.
yeah,
I mean, I'm like, I'm not
absolutely.
gonna let them win. I feel like I've got so much to give.
Yeah,
So
and you do,
right.
yeah. And that's just it. You do have so much to give by your lived experiences, and people want to hear about them because it gives them hope.
Yes, it does. So you work in social justice. Can you tell us more about that? That's, for me, that's so
Well,
important.
I mean, you know, really, it's about just doing the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
even though you may find yourself on your own at times, and you know, and it's important to just have the courage to always do what's right, and that, and understanding that really no one's right or wrong. It's just people often approach things from different
Yeah.
perspectives, or they're at a different place in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just about recognizing that, accepting other people's perspectives, and just trying to empathize with others. So yeah, you know, um, so it's you know, just you need to just focus on your goal, um, and don't waver, don't get distracted by the things that go on around you. So yeah, in terms of social justice, you know, for me, I've taken an oath to be a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
so you know, and you know, my role, I see my role as someone who's there to protect people's rights.
Mm.
You know,
So
and
you
it's so
focus on, yes, go on.
yeah. So you know, that for me, that's a form of social justice.
Yes, because your focus is really on women's rights. Why is that?
Yeah, no, we're not just women's rights. You know, I don't like anyone to feel marginalized
Mm-hmm.
or left out. You know, I'm all about inclusivity.
Yeah.
Obviously, women have suffered since the beginning of time. They've been treated like second-class citizens, and to me, the world would probably be a whole different place if women were, if roles were reversed. Uh,
That's a good debate one day,
yeah,
maybe.
I mean, you know, whenever I've seen women have a different level of empathy to men.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, so they know what it's like to be downtrodden on, mistreated, you know, and so they can empathize with people on so many different levels. That's what I found in my experience,
That's
you know.
great. I mean, you have
Yeah.
so many. I mean, this career that you did in the police, how long was it for?
I'm still in the police. It's been
So how long?
20 years.
20. Wow. So when did you have this idea, this amazing idea to launch Blackpool Street Media? When was this?
Um, it was 2017. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Recently, like not too long ago.
6 years ago. It was before George Floyd. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, and I just recognized that um, people, particularly people of color, um, didn't have a voice in this country, and
In the
media is
country
how.
and everywhere, I think,
Yeah,
personally.
well, yeah, exactly. I was just getting to
Oh,
that. Yeah,
sorry. Sorry.
yeah. So, in this country, we didn't have a particular voice because we didn't have access to mainstream media. The closest thing we have is the Voice newspaper, and a lot of young people are out of touch with that. And so I felt it was important to start building what will hopefully become a mainstream media company, but actually to look beyond that, because although there are black-owned, black-led media companies around the world, a lot of them work in silo. They just cover their region. We don't have anything that covers us globally, the whole African diaspora. And so I wanted to create something like that where we can report on stories from Australia, Africa, all regions of the diaspora, because we're all going through similar issues. And we can, and it's important to share. And they're all coming up with ideas. So it's important to share those ideas. And also representation really matters. And because the narrative has always been, where it comes to black people, linked to criminality, knife crime, that's not who we are.
No.
We are CEOs of huge corporations, you know, we're black doctors, professors, scientists, you know, that's who we are. That's who we've always been. And our young people in particular need to see that, so they can aspire to be, you know, to meet their full potential.
Yes, that's honestly, I've got to say, I loved what you did, because it touches not just the UK, but everywhere else. So can you tell us more about what exactly that you do? So it's just a platform
So
to
yeah,
share.
so we're an online newspaper.
Okay.
But primarily we're an online newspaper where, you know, I have access to news stories all around the world globally. So I look at stories and I think, you know, that would make a great subject. Perhaps I'll write something on that, and I'll push out a story on that. And it could be to do with, I don't know, menopause.
Yes.
How it affects black women.
Yeah, that's
You know,
so amazing.
all these conversations we've never really had, or we don't have, is what I'm trying to push out there. And it's about education. It's about learning about our history as well. I like to do a lot of history, but at the same time, I want to. It's about showcasing all the talent we have out there, um, and I want to keep that talent within our communities so we can benefit economically
That's true.
from it as well. So ideally, I'd like to build a platform that not only showcases jobs and showcases talent and everything else, but also creates jobs, opportunity um, for everyone. As I said, it's got to be inclusive. We need to show how it should have been done in the first place,
It's
and
never
that,
too late, because
yeah,
what you're doing, as much as you think, oh, I've done it no longer ago, should have been done in the first place, but at least it's something. At least you saw something lacking. You said to yourself, I need to put this right. You had the guts to go out there, to look at your vision, say, look, this is what I want to do. And I'm sure Black Wall Street Media is doing very well with all of the things that you're including in there.
yeah, yeah. We're getting there. It's hard. It's a lot more hard work than I could ever imagine. In my head, I thought, all right, I'll do this, do that, and do that, and it'll be easy. And I'll build it, and everyone will come. But it's
Yeah.
not. It don't work like that. You really have to persevere, work at it. There's a lot to learn. You learn a lot about people. So although the platform has grown, it's still got a long way to go. But like I said, the main thing is I've started, and it's I'll be able to take it so far, and then the next generation, I have to pass the baton on, and then they have to take it. So
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah,
that's good to think like that. I mean, it's one thing that I wanted to add, because you say you like history. I went with my kids to Paris, and they've never been. I mean, my son's been once, but my daughter's never been. They've heard all of the stories. My daughter, she loves to read. She said, "Oh, Mom, the Three Musketeers." I said, "You know who wrote it?" She said, "No, I don't know." I said, "Okay." So I took her to the Pantheon. It's a place where all the graves of famous writers, artists for French. And can you imagine the guy that wrote The Three Musketeers, a black man? My daughter was so shocked. She's like, what? And I said, exactly. You thought The Three Musketeers, the French history, it was a white man. I said, no, it's a black man. She
Wow.
said, but why didn't you tell me? I said, I wanted to show you, because if I tell you things, you're not going to know. So she was surprised. And she said, but mom, he's the only black person to be buried here. And ironically, in 2017, the President Macron said, you know what, this guy done so much for our culture. He needs to be buried with the great of the greatest, even though
Wow.
he's black.
See,
So
I
I think
never knew
history.
that. I never knew that. That's amazing.
My daughter, she loves things like that, and she was like, oh, now I took her to the next level of, it's not just the white people that have all these ideas, black people too.
I,
So what you do is amazing.
yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add, so when we basically started to talk, I told you about, the police brutality discussion I had in my class.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids in that class, even the white one, I mean, everyone, they were like, but Miss Diaz, the police, they never get punished. It's like people can do what they want to do. And I mean, they're 11 and 12s. And I'm thinking, okay, how about we talk about the positives? But most of them, they say, but how come they don't get judged? How come, like, the Ricardo dos Santos story, they got dismissed. But from what they are telling me, they want them to go through the justice system, like you get charged and you go to prison. So do you think we're gonna see some changes, or it's gonna take a long time?
I think we're beginning to see some changes, especially since George Floyd. I think what happened initially after George Floyd was we started to have dialogue and conversation that was very, very difficult, but very necessary, and that needs to continue. So I think it's been good in that sense because we never used to have these conversations at all. Everyone just dodge these conversations. But it's important that we have open and frank discussion in a respectful way where we sit down and actually listen to one another, whether we agree with each other or not. We actually take the time to listen and try and understand, because actually, when you listen and try and understand, we all want the same thing, but we're just looking at it from a very narrow perspective, and we need to widen our vision. Um, so I think that's important. Um, I can understand why your young people
Yeah,
will feel that way. Absolutely. I don't disagree with their perspective at all. It is important that police officers, above anyone else, because we're the ones that are supposed to set the example and be the leaders of society, that we are held accountable when we do things wrong. Um, and at the same time, I'm a believer in giving people opportunity to learn from their mistakes.
yeah,
But it's when they keep repeating those mistakes, then you have to question their pedigree. Um,
I agree.
uh, so it's very, very difficult. Um, but we were trying to turn around the Titanic here when we talk about the police.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to turn around the culture that's been around for 200 years.
Yeah,
So, it, it and it took 400 years to free us as slaves. So,
yeah,
so it may take us some time to get there, but I do believe we're on the right track. I do believe we have to keep our feet on the gas pedal and not ease up, because if you want change, you've got to push hard.
yeah.
No, um, but I also think that we need to um, look at re-examine our thinking. What I mean by that is a lot of people from our community don't want to join the police. And I think they're looking at it all wrong, because if we don't get into these places, if we don't persevere, we don't become resilient when these challenges come along, then change is going to take a lot longer to happen. So we need more champions of our community in the police, and it's not about integrating, it's about bringing your community in the police, bringing who you are, your perspective in the police. And you may fit, may meet challenges, but I'm a better person for being in the police, and not because of all the good things that's happened, because of all the bad things that have happened that have really helped me to grow. So I'm grateful for that.
Amazing.
So yeah, I'd encourage um, people to come in. Not necessarily come in for a career, but come in to fight for your community and to protect their rights and to make your community safe.
That's the thing. I think the basic of the police is to make the community safe, because the topic was, is your neighbor safe? And who's in charge of that? And then it delved into, and then I say, okay, I give them a task. I say, okay, tell me what you think the role of the police is and what you think can be improved. So I said, instead of just talking negative, and I said, just think, police people, they're humans. They're not perfect. Yes, they have to set examples. Yes, they are the one, they're in charge of a lot of things. But I say, imagine, none of us are perfect. So I said, think about, I said, yes, they do mistakes, but at the same time, when they do mistakes, it's like a big thing because they shouldn't really make mistakes. But at the same time, think they're humans. You could hear a pin drop. They were like, oh yes, you make a good point with this. I said, as a teacher, when I make a mistake, when I tell somebody off it wasn't them, I say, look, I'm sorry. That's it. So I said that you have to think that one day when you guys grow up, you might want to be in the police. Just think about the conversation we
Yeah.
have. It's not easy. What you guys do, it's not easy.
No, it's easy to sit there and criticize and say, you shouldn't have done this. But, I would say come in and have a go at doing it yourself.
Yeah.
You might, I'm sure because you'll understand your community. So you'll understand how to deal with certain situations, how to deal with other people, different people. And that's what we need. We need people that understand the communities we serve. And for me, it's great because
I can't hear you.
well,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, you say it's great
Yeah.
because?
Yeah, because I've got to learn about other communities as well.
Amazing.
I like people. I like learning about people, different cultures. That's just me. So I'm just very open-minded like that, because I think it's beautiful having all these different languages and cultures and in all in one place. It's just it makes a beautiful recipe.
Yeah, I
Huh?
can imagine. I want
Yeah.
to say, before I ask you my last question, I want to say a big thank you for your time, for coming and talking to me. And the last question I ask all the time to my guests. So if you were to give an advice to young people to follow on your footstep, what would be the advice? What would you say to them?
I would say follow your dreams. Don't let anyone talk you out of your dreams. If you believe in yourself, but you also have to be able to persevere,
Yeah.
because it's never easy. Anything worthwhile is never easy, and it's really a test of how badly you want it. But don't be disappointed. Just don't be in such a rush. You know, just set yourself a goal and stick to it, and eventually you'll get there. You'll find your way, and just to really be open-minded to what life has to offer, and don't look at, at challenges as a bad thing. Embrace them.
Oh, spoken so wisely. Thank you very much, Shaun. we're gonna stay in touch,
Yes,
because
definitely.
I really like what you do.
Thank you.
And please carry on your excellent work, and thank you for everything that you're doing as a police, in the police, and also your Blackpool Street Media. Thank you so much, Shaun.
Thank you for
I hope you have
inviting me, and I look forward to meeting you in person one day.
me too. Feelings mutual. Have a lovely evening, Shaun, and thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. All the best. Bye bye.
Thank you.